Ready? Hello, my name is Robbie, riding with Robbie, and this is Ivy. Say hi, Ivy. So, hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video because I keep getting asked about like winter and wet weather riding gear and what I use. So, me and Ivy, even though she's absolutely knackered, are going to do a quick video on what we use for winter, or what I use. She doesn't really have much work with the gear, but let me run through a little bit about what I use. And honestly, I've ridden in -8 and up to like 40 degrees, and it's quite nice to be able to tell people, okay, this works, because the worst thing is just getting cold. It's not only bad for, you know, your motivation to ride, but it's also really bad for your muscles. So I've had some terrible injuries before riding in -2 without the right gear, and it's a mistake that I'll never make again. So anyway, more importantly, let's start with going through a little bit of winter kit. So first things first, bib shorts and jersey. So I'm not one of these people that wears long bib tights. Really not that interested in it, brutally honest. I'm quite happy just to wear my summer gear and then just use a few additional items to make it a little bit easier to ride. So this is obviously the S-Fire stuff. I really like it, but it is, like I say, very thin, very racy. So you've got to back it up with some additional things to keep yourself warm. So the next thing is arm warmers. Arm warmers are really handy just as an extra layer for insulation. In the rain, I probably wouldn't recommend just arm warmers because they get wet and you can get quite cold off them. But it does give a really nice layer of insulation. And when you do get them wet and the water traps in between, as long as you keep riding, you're fine. But it's when you start getting cold, you get a little bit of an issue. So after arm warmers, quite simply, leg warmers. So I really like these because they're quite thick. They're the Perlazumi ones. And with Perlazumi, obviously this is like a sister company of Shimano, and they've always been very good products, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. You know, I do have the S-Fire leg warmers, and sorry, my dog is chewing my clothes, but I do have the S-Fire leg warmers and things like that. But the Perlazumi ones I've had for years, and they just seem to work really well for me. So next, a gilet. So although this sounds a bit crazy, but I always have a gilet, even under like my rain jacket and stuff like that. Yet again, this is only a very thin one. I do like to wear them just because they take the edge off, they just take the wind off, and if you can keep the core warm, then normally it's okay. Are you chewing my stuff? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. How about we put you here for a second, okay? And on top of that, a rain jacket. So this is probably the best one you can get, in my opinion. This is a Gore-Tex Shake Dry. So it's super light, it wraps up super thin, it's completely waterproof, it's windproof. It's honestly, they're not cheap. You know, these can be like 200 quid, but they're worth every penny. And just trust me in saying that this will be the best thing you'll ever buy for winter riding and that kind of gear. And sorry, my doggy, what are you doing? Anyway, so moving on from that, one thing I haven't really spoke about is socks. So normally I'll just wear my standard socks, but on top of that I will actually wear 2 pairs of socks. Providing it doesn't make my feet uncomfortable in the shoes, then I'm happy to wear 2 pairs of socks. And then that as well, let's start talking about when it gets really cold. So base layers. So I actually wear this. This is a nice, really big, really thick, really stretchy Shimano base layer. So if you can keep yourself warm in your core, then normally stuff like your hands and feet, the extremities, keep quite warm themselves. I really like these base layers, and I'll be honest, I was someone that never used them for so long and then decided, actually, I'm going to start using them. So you put this on, it's long sleeved as well, you get your jersey on top, your arm warmers on, you've just got so many layers, it keeps you so warm. But even when it does warm up in the day and it gets sunny, you don't feel uncomfortable in base layers. They're meant to keep you cool and warm at the same time. So I really recommend wearing a base layer. But even in summer riding, it's worth using one, like a short sleeve one, something like that. You'll notice a really big benefit from that. So on top of that, let's go through the others. So more for summer riding. I wear gloves, but very thin gloves. These are quite funky actually. They were like 10 quid off Amazon. I think they're Qpay, but I really like them. They're good gloves and they come in really funky designs. I always wear a cap, just keep your head warm. If your head's cold, then the rest of you will be cold. And the minute you start to feel really rough is always because you're getting cold up top. Like literally, some people wear like the caps as well. They're really good, but honestly, always wear a cap. Sun or shine. A buff, just a neck warmer. So when you get really, really cold, I was cycling, like I say, -8 once, and sometimes you can just put these, you know, above your mouth and it just warms your breath up, which goes a really long way sometimes. So really recommend taking a buff. But even in summer, you'll find some use for them. If you've got long hair like me, you can use them to tie your hair up. When it starts to get really cold though, you need to start thinking about really heavy duty stuff and waterproof as well. So first thing is, these are overshoes, these are sealskins. You do get the thick waterproof overshoes, these are more of a wool one. I like these. They are waterproof, they're nice to use. They're really quite flexible and they wrap up quite small, but they just let no wind through. Although they look like material, they are fully waterproof. I really recommend sealskin stuff, it is very good. Gloves as well, I've gone for the really high-vis thick ones. They're even kind of reflective on the side here. And I must admit, yeah, again, sealskins, as far when it comes to gloves and when it comes to overshoes and stuff like that, they're incredible. You know, they really are so well made. And I've had these years and they just last and they last and they last. In price point, they're perfect. I know a lot of people use neoprene, but that's not really something I'm going to use. Are you ripping my gloves? Are you ripping my gloves? I'm going to leave you that one for like 2 minutes, okay? And then last but not least, when it gets really cold, we're talking like 1-2 degrees. I actually wear a fleece-lined hoodie, so yet again this is a Per Lazuli one. So although it looks like a normal jacket, it's not. It's kind of got all the cycling stuff in, so you'll find with this is just in the armpits, you can open up and it's a bit more breathable. If you do get a bit too warm throughout the day, it's got the cycling pocket at the back, but it's actually made for cycling. You can see the back's a little bit longer. I really like this. So with all this kind of gear, you'll find that it's really easy to ride in any kind of temperature. I actually have a hole in my glove now, Ivy, so she's teething, and she's a bit of a pain in the arse with it. So I must admit, like with that kind of gear, that is everything you'd ever need to ride in like really cold, wintry conditions. You know, even if you're doing off-road, you know, one thing I really can recommend is just gear up for everything. Even if you're taking spare clothes in a frame bag, gear up. You know, I've like lost feeling in my hands before. So the race around Netherlands recently was an interesting one where I literally rode like day and night for days, and I found that the weather turned and it was -2 some nights, and I got really bad patella tendonitis because of it in my knees, and also I couldn't feel my hands from such bad chilblains at times, and it was weeks after until I got better because of it. So dress nicely, that's the kind of kit you should be looking at for winter and wet weather riding. Thanks guys, enjoy. Ivy, say bye, and stop chewing all my stuff to shreds.